Hello, I'm Zanti,
And I'm Harry.
and we'll be answering question 4 of our evaluation, which is how do you use new media technologies in the construction and research, planning and evaluation stages? Well, to start, we decided that we would like it if we made our own song, and because I quite enjoy singing and making music, and Harry's like a computer whiz, we could make our own song. For that we used FL Studio to place the music in it, and we used Audacity, I think, to record the singing. I was very impressed with how professional it sounded, and it was quite difficult to use, but because Harry's so good at stuff like that and he understood it so well, it was quite efficient and effective, and I mean it sounded really good.
I think that's the thing though, the issue with FL Studio that we had mainly was because I'd never made an indie song before, so it was a completely new direction. So because of this we had many difficulties. We spent a large amount of time, some time was wasted. It's like we started out with a song which we never even used in the end.
That's true.
And then we went completely back to a simpler, but I think a more uplifting song. If anything, the original song was a lot darker.
It was
but
quite
FL Studio was very effective in helping us create the song that we wanted. It sounded very professional as well.
It did.
Yeah.
Right, in the construction part of making our products, we used a camera which was a Canon Legria camera.
And we also used a Lumix G2, which were for the photo shoots.
Just for photo shoot, yeah. And we used a tripod as well, which I think was quite effective. It stabilised most of the shots. The only shots we didn't use it in were the shots that were moving when we were following each other with the camera. And I thought that was quite effective because it had a really natural look about it, but still professional because it was put on a tripod, and you know it looked professional because it wasn't shaky or moving or anything.
And the cameras as well, they were really good because they're very portable, and this made it much easier for us to transport them to location to film, and they were easy to carry around and bring into more tighter areas for filming. But the issue is they have a very low frames per second count, so when we put them into Sony Vegas to edit them, it came out quite choppy because of this when we put them in slow motion.
We also used iPhones and iPods to take pictures. We went out onto the field and we realised we'd forgotten to take an actual camera. So we just took some pictures with our iPods and iPhones.
So that was practical, wasn't it? Because
it
was quite small.
It was.
We were able to manoeuvre around it a lot easier because the stop motion was done by manoeuvring around the flower and taking multiple photos simultaneously. And that was quite effective.
Your phone's really good with that. So it was very handy to use. You know, it was there when we needed it, but it did have some downsides.
It did have some downsides. It was very slow at taking the pictures, we found at some points. So many times we took photos of the same things, or it came out really blurry, which was an issue. And so we had to eliminate these photos.
We also had some issues with uploading them because obviously we couldn't upload them onto the computers at school because school computers didn't have iTunes. So we'd have to go home and then upload them.
Then I'd have to email them over to Zanti and she could transport.
But we also made some videos, just some short shots of flowers and of trees in the sky. But because the school computers don't have iTunes, we had to go home and Harry tried to put it on a USB stick, but it wouldn't work because it was too big. So there were actually quite a few nature shots that we just didn't end up using because we couldn't get them to the school computers, which was a bit inconvenient.
But on the upside, we did manage to transport some of them, and in the end, we did manage to create a quite pretty stop motion. It's really good.
Yeah, and we also used quite a bit of social networking. We used Facebook and YouTube,
SoundCloud as well.
We used SoundCloud to get
distribute the song, get feedback. Maybe.
Yeah, basically to just advertise it a little bit, and it was very effective. You know, everyone's on it. It's the modern thing to do. I don't think anyone doesn't have either Facebook or goes on YouTube or whatever. So it was very good to sort of spread the word. We also used, to edit the video,
Sony Vegas 11 Pro.
Sony Vegas 11 Pro, because we'd used it last year, so we sort of knew our way around it, which meant that we saved quite a lot of time, and because Harry is just like an editing genius.
We managed to, this time we incorporated more layers, whereas we didn't use it last year, and for a rough cut we didn't really use that as much.
Yeah, that's true.
But we used layers because we found that this was much more effective in trying to synchronise the sounds. You could have just use one clip for an entire scene and have other clips playing over the top of it, so you'd never have to cut it and rearrange it.
Which relates to Andrew Goodwin's theory that in music videos they have things that you can see the sound through. When we play the drums, you can see the noise, see the sound. Yeah. We also used, for the evaluation, we used a voiceover video. We played our music video, and then we recorded ourselves talking while the music video played, which was very handy because we could relate to things as we saw them in the music video. Like if we saw a close-up shot of the artist's face, we could say, this is a close-up shot of the artist's face, and we could talk about the connotations and if it challenged or reinforced the conventions of our genre,
So
which
we
was
used,
really handy.
we used
I like
Sony
that.
Vegas again then because we were able to separate the video, which we recorded of us speaking,
Yeah.
and just keep the sound and have the music video playing over the top of it.
And I really like that. I like doing podcasts and voiceovers. I think it's a lot more personal than just writing
Yeah,
like
just
a
write
Word
something down.
document. Yeah, I like it better. We also used obviously Word to write out some documents, and I'm quite a fan of PowerPoint. I like it very
I like
much.
PowerPoint because you have all the design templates
Yeah.
while you can manipulate them to make them very personal as well.
I think it's much more fun browsing through a PowerPoint than just reading a Word document because that
Yeah.
can get quite boring. And I'm a great fan of PowerPoint,
I
and I think
PowerPoint
it's
is very
effective
effective as well, like
Yeah.
delivering to like
Yeah.
your audience as well, because you can also represent what you've done